everyone hated me and unfollowed me and said I was a money grabber and all this stuff. And I was like, I'm going home to do a full-time job that pays me below minimum wage. The last thing I am is a money grabber. But oh my God, straight
Yeah.
into it. My favorite thing about being in the villa, besides getting paid to sit in a lovely villa with 40-degree heat and loads of people walking around in their bikinis and stuff, besides that, I met some really, really good people in there. Like I'm still in contact with a lot of the lads. So like Jordan and Michael and Danny and Chris, good mates of mine now. And I'm actually got on really well with Joe Garrett, who funny enough, we weren't in the villa together, but we got on really well. So just making pals like that and sitting in the sun and just doing whatever you wanted. Well, I was in Love Island 2019, and then I didn't go to the Tokyo Olympics until 2021 because of COVID pushed it out. But I trained twice a day in there, and they didn't. I don't think they really showed any of it. They might. I actually never watched it back, so I'm not sure. But I trained twice a day in there. I would have done weights in the gym in the corner, and I ran across the garden. So one day Ovi joined me, and he ran across the garden with me. And one day Anton joined me. So stayed fit. And I actually got in really good shape in there because they feed you really well, like good food. And then all I did was train and drink water and rest. So like I got in really good shape in there, funnily enough. One thing that people think is that it's staged and that what's happening, like what people are saying, what they're doing is like produced and staged, where it's actually not. Everything and every word an Islander says comes out of their own mouth and it's their own autonomy to say what they're saying. But the thing is, the producers just have to make a TV show. So they have to encourage you to have certain conversations. But if you mess up and you say something wrong, that's on you, bro. Like, so that's what people don't realize. It's actually more real than you think it is. And the other thing that people don't realize is that there's cameras everywhere, even in the toilets. So like it's madness. So like you can't get away from the cameras. And I think the reason behind that is in case a couple go in there and start having sex or a fight takes place in there or something like that, they have to be able to film it. So they're probably the two things that people usually get wrong. Like they only have 2 months or 8 weeks to make a TV show. That's the most popular TV show in the UK. So if they didn't encourage people to have conversations, everyone would just be sitting around drinking, eating, chatting, having fun, just swimming in the pool. So like they have to make things happen. So might be sitting around chilling, chatting to the lads, and a producer will come out of one of the fake walls and be like, "Okay, Greg, you need to get up now, go over to Amber and ask her how she feels about you." So it encourages stuff to happen, but like they haven't like asked me what way to ask the question. They haven't told Amber what to say. Like so, you know what I mean? They're just encouraging you to have conversations, but you say what you want to say. They actually tried to make me kiss Amber the second night I was in there. They were like, Greg, would you not think about maybe kissing her? And I was like, no, I don't want to yet. I'm not ready. Like, and they're like, all right. So like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's completely your own doing in there, whatever you do. Yeah. So ITV are very good in that they have like a program, a 14-month program that you have to do on the way out. Talk to therapists, psychologists. Even before you go in, you have to get signed off before you go in. You meet a psychologist every day in there, if not every other day. So they do everything they can do to help you. But the thing is, you've decided to go into the show, and that's why it's on you, really. Like, do you know what I mean? So I probably in hindsight didn't realize how bad it can get. So a lot of negativity came off the back of the show, but it came off the back of the show because I decided not to follow the written rule of ask the girl to be your girlfriend, move to London, do the red carpet events, become the man, take all the brand deals. I was like, I have to go home to training. I'm going to the Olympics next year or trying to go to the Olympics. Being a Love Island winner isn't part of my plan. So I had to turn away from it, unfortunately, but it just wasn't the time in my life for it. And I got absolutely shunned and eaten alive, and everyone hated me and unfollowed me and said I was a money grabber and all this stuff. And I was like, I'm going home to do a full-time job that pays me below minimum wage. The last thing I am is a money grabber, but I'm just following my dream and my goal and it's worked out in the end because I ended up going and achieving my goals. So thank God. I'm pretty happy with the way I carried myself in there and the way I respected people and the whole lot. I probably have a regret in afterwards that the whole thing just came crashing down and there's just such drama, and me and Amber probably could have dealt with it privately, but her whole team just like released this whole article and just blew the whole thing out of proportion. And I just kind of wish that was handled a bit better. She apologized for it. I was like, look, these things happen. It's destroyed my whole career basically, but it's fine because I'm not trying to be that person right now. So that's probably a lesson I've learned, is that try and deal with things privately. But then again, it's the most watched TV show in the UK. So how are you going to do that privately? I think at the top level of sevens compared to the top level of 15s, they're essentially a different sport. It's just completely different demand on the body. So I remember when I transferred over from 15s into the sevens, in the first season, I think I tore my hamstring 6 times, three each one. I just couldn't adapt to the level of volume of running needed to be a sevens player. So for instance, for your 7 minutes and 7 minutes, 14-minute game, you're striding and running for the whole thing. Where in 15s rugby, you're a stop start, you might be standing on the wing, you might get 2 or 3 balls in 80 minutes, make a few tackles, things like that. So it's just a different level. And if you're trying to be at the very top, it's just they just don't compare. But I think if you play a couple of seasons in sevens and come back into the 15s, your skills and your fitness levels are just so much better because you've been exposed on the sevens field, because there's more space there, it's faster. People like Hugo Keenan, who's now started every game for Ireland in the last 15 games, Will Connors, people like that, they all came back from the sevens team into the 15s and they've just flourished. Do you know what, man? Rugby is my first love and I didn't want to retire. But when you're getting paid 18 grand a year to do a full-time job, you kind of have to look at yourself and being like, you're like, you wouldn't do this job if it paid you like 18 grand a year. It just doesn't work like that. So I was really sad to walk away, but I had to, for my life, for my career, and I'd achieved what I wanted to achieve. There was nothing else to do in the sport, so it was time to walk away. Not particularly, no. We always kind of had the same blueprint to how we play. The thing is, we're all quite small in this Irish sevens team. We're coming up against freaks of athletes from like Fiji, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and we couldn't overpower them individually, but we could beat them as a team, all working together in little units. And that's how we beat the big guys, like, because they wouldn't be able to live with our team and our pace and our skills. So we've always kind of brought that through, and we've just developed over years. We've come up from European Division D to C to B to A to the World Cup to the World Series to the Olympics, and we kind of peaked in Hong Kong when we won the World Series qualifier and we got onto the World Series, which was huge. The Irish team's now won the World Series because of that, and we won the Olympic qualifier last chance saloon 2 weeks before going to Tokyo to be the last team to go to Tokyo, which was just such an emotional, taxing tournament. To win that, we probably didn't perform as we could have, as well as we could have in the Olympics, but I think our pinnacle, our emotional pinnacle, had just been touched 2 weeks before, and we couldn't get back to that again. But you know what? We still went to Olympics. We still came 10th in the world, so it was amazing. Yes, it has. So when I was in 15s, I was quite conscious of what I was eating. You have to eat really well to keep your body in decent shape. A lot of protein to keep yourself strong and big, and to deal with the impacts. So I was only playing at like 83 kg, coming up against 120 kg props. Like, you know, who's going to win that fight? So you have to be able to withstand that. And then I went into the sevens. You can be a little bit lighter because you have to run so much, but then you have to hike up your carbs. So you're eating pizza, pasta, like rice, everything to get food. You literally can't eat enough food to counteract how much you're burning. So that was kind of the difference between 15s and sevens. Then I stopped playing sevens and I haven't had that high training load. So I've just dropped how much I eat now. And I definitely eat a little bit more enjoyably. I have a bit more chocolate, a couple of stuff here and there, but I train just different kind of stimuluses. So for instance, I've done a lot more long distance running recently, which I wouldn't have done playing sevens because it just doesn't work for playing sevens. And I've done a lot of CrossFit. I've done a couple of things like that. So I'm really enjoying trying different things. And I've done a lot of Instagram lives, which has kind of led me to my app, Better with Greg, where I'm going to be doing live sessions with people, all body weight stuff. So really enjoying that. So yeah, it's kind of been a long time in the back of my head, man. And I never actually thought it would happen because there's a lot going into making an app, right? It costs a lot of money, and it was just I was trying to go to the Olympics, and I was just don't have time to do it. I'm just like, it's a nice idea, but it's not gonna happen. And then the whole lockdown thing happened, and like, you saw everyone doing Instagram lives, and I did a lot of work on my YouTube, like workouts, and people enjoyed them. And I was like, hold on, I'm enjoying making these. People are enjoying doing them. can I take that passion and turn it into an everyday job where I help people? So that's where it kind of came. And I was like, better with Greg. I just want people to, the mindset to be, let's get a little bit better together rather than you need to go and get fit and you need to be at this level or else you're not fit. You need to be healthy. So it wasn't like Greg fit or Greg health. I want to stay away from that. I just want people to think, let's work out together. You're going to be live with me. So I'm going to be there. I'm not just going to film 50 videos, put them on an app and ask you to pay for it. And I'm going to be sitting in Dubai, sitting on a pina colada. If you're working out, I'm going to be there with you doing it. So we're all going to do it together. So that's kind of the USP of it all. And that's what differentiates it from other fitness apps is I'm going to be there and you're not comparing yourself to anyone else but yourself. And it's all body weight stuff. So you can do it at home. Maybe there's going to be light dumbbells and things like that, but you don't have to go to the gym and be under a big barbell or anything like that. So that's kind of the whole concept of the app. It's kind of a mixture of what I had to do to get to the top of sport at the Olympics, mixed with I'm a Pilates instructor, so I have that kind of element of flexibility in core. My mother's an unbelievable yoga instructor, so I've always had the influence of her. So I've kind of taken, I'm also a weight loss coach. I qualified as a weight loss coach. So I have all these different elements that I've taken, and I'm like, that's good. We don't really need to do the rest of this. This is good. I'm going to put them all together, make it fun, make it enjoyable, and make it accessible to everyone rather than like sending out these ridiculous programs. It's actually not that difficult. You just kind of need to raise your heart rate up for 20, 30 minutes, 3 or 4 times a week, and that's enough, and eat well. And I'm just kind of simplifying it and make it fun.